Hey guys, DB here, and back with some more What If Queen Beryl enslaved 3 of the Sailor Guardians. This is part 3, which I think may just be the beginning of the end of this What If. After all, when this problem resolves itself, things will return back to normal for the rest of the anime. So, yeah, I'm guessing that we'll have this part and maybe another part to maybe finish it. But depends how much we get through this time. Alright, so continuing right where we left off. Well, things for the good guys have seemed to be more or less on equal footing now. At least a lot of Queen Beryl's plans are beginning to backfire as her enslaved Sailor Guardians, Mercury, Jupiter, and Mars, are beginning to refuse her orders. At the very least, trying to resist them. And, well, this definitely proves to be quite the big fiasco when we get to the Princess's Ball. That's the part of the story where some big international princess is coming into town to show off some sort of national treasure, and well, since at this point in the story everyone thinks Sailor Venus is the Moon Princess, they're not after this princess to because they think she's the Moon Princess, but it's very possible that this national treasure could be the missing silver crystal. So pretty much everyone is there at the dance, and including our evil Sailor Guardians. And like I said, the whole thing is basically a whole hilarious, messy fiasco with there's even a hilarious incident where everyone's trying to get the treasure away from each other. It's like one big game of keep away. However, Nephrite, the man in charge of this mission, is not having it at all, as he pretty much unleashes a devastating attack, and Nephrite doesn't even seem to care whether or not he hits his girlfriend, Sailor Jupiter, in the crossfire. And well, needless to say, he does manage to get the treasure and does get a look at it. It turns out it's not the silver crystal at all. It's just, if I recall, wasn't it a tiara or something? Bottom line is, it was not the silver crystal. Nephrite is furious at this, and well, he immediately goes to attack Sailor Moon and Venus, unleashing a devastating attack that hits Moon to the point where she's basically hanging off the roof of the building, and it's very possible she could slip and fall to her doom, but luckily for her, Tuxedo Mask is there to catch her in the nick of time, who has also been having his memories restored, and he knows that this Sailor Moon person, for some reason, someone he admires a lot and needs to protect. He doesn't fully understand it himself, but that's what this whole thing is about. Him finding out who he really is. And so, basically, you're probably thinking that it's Sailor Venus alone against 3 evil counterpart Sailor Guardians and Nephrite. But actually, no. With Nephrite's vicious attack earlier that hit his own allies in the crossfire, well, do you really think Sailor Jupiter is really the type to take that, even if the shot came from her boyfriend? Heck no, of course not. So, in a way, the corrupt Sailor Guardians have sort of turned on Nephrite and have given Venus the chance to slip away unharmed, where with Luna and Artemis's help, they're able to arrive Usagi and get out of there relatively unscathed. I know the good guys are retreating a lot, but they are up against overwhelming odds, and basically Queen Beryl, like sort of almost holographic image of Queen Beryl, or transitional image of a see-through version of Queen Beryl appears and basically orders her subordinates to break up the fight immediately before she destroys them all. Are you all too busy fighting each other that you fail to see the Sailor Guardians have gotten away? Possibly with the Silver Crystal? Nephra tries to assure Queen Beryl that this national treasure was not the Silver Crystal. Silence! Has it ever occurred to you that the Silver Crystal could have been any amount of jewelry here? And this definitely has a lot of them scared, and Queen Beryl basically orders a lot of them to withdraw. There will be disciplinary issues later to solve. And, well, with the events of what has happened to Usagi during that whole scuffle has shaken her up a little bit, possibly a concussion due to whiplash from being hit by Nephrite like that. It's taken her, dare I say, out of action somewhat, which has pretty much left Sailor Venus alone trying to stop these bad guys, all these enemies from the Dark Kingdom. And this is pretty much where we get to the issue up on, I think the landmark is called Tokyo Tower. The nice red looking thing kind of looks like the Eiffel Tower. Is that not called Tokyo Tower? I might have it wrong. I do apologize. I am bad with my landmarks too. But you know the place I'm trying to describe. Now this is where Beryl makes her appearance to the Sailor Guardians for the first time in the original. And she does again, because remember, they still think Venus is the Moon Princess and have every intention on capturing her. And this time, not even Tuxedo Mask has enough of power and assist to help her get out of this, and Nephrite and the rest of the frights, as I call them, and the corrupt, evil Sailor Guardians, it's just too overwhelming. However, Sailor Moon does manage to force herself out of bed and is heading towards Tokyo Tower herself, and Luna and Artemis are trying to pretty much stop her. You're too weak to be of any help right now. But after seeing the sheer determination of Usagi, well, Luna decides it's time to give her Serenity's wand. It is what's given to Sailor Moon when she is established as the leader, which is supposed to only happen when she unites all the other Sailor Guardians, but desperate times, desperate measures, and she takes the wand, and from where she is, she's still a bit of a distance away from Tokyo Tower. She's close enough by that she can see the mayhem happening, and that Venus is nearly finished. And with Beryl being on the front line too, this is the first time she has seen Tuxedo Mask, aka Prince Endimion, the man she loved and started all this chaos for in the first place. But before she could act on it, moon healing escalation! And it is aimed directly for Queen Beryl when Usagi has aimed the attack directly at Queen Beryl, and well, all of Queen Beryl's subordinates jump in front of the blast and take the full front of it. Mercury, being the one in front, is hit with it the most, while everyone just sort of gradually, Beryl's a little bit weakened. She has no choice but to evacuate right now. And, well, as everyone in the Dark Kingdom sort of comes to, that brat, Sailor Venus was never the Moon Princess. It was Sailor Moon the entire time. Well, yeah, duh. I mean, Moon Princess, Sailor Moon. It's in her name. So, anyways, back to the story. So, basically, Queen Beryl now aware of her the Moon Princess's identity, and basically she can go after Prince Endimion whenever she wants. She's pretty much overly in a good mood. It wasn't a total loss. However, as Mercury is coming to, she has come to a sudden, horrible realization. What? What am I doing here? Where on earth am I? And the other two Sailor Guardians that have been enslaved by Queen Beryl, Mars and Jupiter, are sort of feeling the same way. Mercury has got access to more of her memories now, and is more or less almost the person she should be. Like the other two are still resisting it somewhat. And, well, it becomes clear that Mercury intends to desert Queen Beryl and the Dark Kingdom and help Usagi and the others fight off this evil, when the other two, who haven't quite fully been released yet, actually turn her in, and Beryl just simply puts the spell back on her. And it works. But this is a good sign, guys. It means the good guys are in there somewhere. Just needs another push. Even at that moment when Sailor Moon's power released, and before she passed out, she could hear the cries of her corrupt comrades. She now wakes up in a mysterious apartment. Of course, this turns out to be Mamoru's, aka Tuxedo Mask's, apartment, who is obviously safe and comfortable with revealing his identity at this point. And, yeah. This is pretty much where we get to the point where Mamoru is captured and undergoes the same kind of spell that the Sailor Guardians are under, and is now Prince Endimion, the lover of Queen Beryl, even though he's all spellified and all of that. So we're pretty much getting to the point where Usagi is beginning to feel that sense of helplessness, that they're not going to beat these guys, evil's going to win, yada, yada, yada. But something is still keeping Sailor Moon fighting. There's a bit of light and fight left in her to keep her going. And that is the fact that she could hear the screams of her comrades calling for her to release them. and with that determination to set everyone free, including Mamoru, that amount of love that she's exposing. Guess what, guys? It's Princess Serenity time for Usagi, as she forms into her princess form, dress and everything, and rather than going for a big hunt for the silver crystal forms in her hand and becomes part of the wand, of Queen Serenity's wand. And this actually causes another awakening, something that happens earlier in this timeline because of the great imbalance between light and evil. As we go to another part of the city where a certain young lady named Haruka, I'm pretty sure that's her name, has just finished winning a race, and she's being followed by this other girl who turns out to be Sailor Neptune. Turns out to be Sailor Neptune. I had to think of which one she was for a second. And well, with the sudden cries out from the Moon Princess and the power being unleashed right now, as Usagi accepts her destiny as the Moon Princess, caused the awakening of these other two Sailor Guardians, Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus, who are immediately coming to the aid of their princess. After all, that's their job. Usually they're more for extraterrestrial intruders and whatnot, but I'm pretty sure Queen Beryl and Queen Metalia do count as extraterrestrial intruders. Either way, it's extraterrestrial influence, therefore this is within Uranus and Saturn's jurisdiction. And they really got to help out their princess. And so we're pretty much heading into the final battle as Princess Serenity, or Usagi, Sailor Moon, whatever you want to call her, she's got that many names, and Venus are planning a big one final stand against the Dark Kingdom and trying to restore their friends. And, well, as it all seems lost, because, well, they are trying to make sure that Usagi does not use that wand again to undo everything Queen Beryl has done to the enslaved Sailor Guardians, but all is not lost, because Uranus and Neptune appear. World shaking! And I forget the name of Neptune's attack. One of their cool attacks, and it pretty much helps even the odds somewhat that Usagi can finally use the wand to heal everybody. And she does. The power hits the corrupted Sailor Guardians and Tuxedo Mask and restores them back to their original state. And finally, the corrupt Sailor Guardians are granted use of the transformation pens. And so, for the first time ever, they can properly transform to their proper Sailor Guardian states. Mars, power, makeup, all of that. And basically, as the light clears up, all all 5 original Sailor Guardians standing side by side, walking out of the mist, all of them including Usagi in her Sailor Moon form, and in the center, marching straight to the castle, where they must have their final showdown with Queen Beryl. And I think that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. So what do you guys think? Did you enjoy this part of the story? What did you think of Sailor Uranus and Neptune showing up earlier in the anime than they did in the original? I think it sort of made sense because that they were pretty much awakened when evil was really that close to taking over the planet. You know, they're almost to the point where Saturn would wake up and destroy the Earth for being that much in balance. So I think that would stand to reason that Sailors Neptune and Uranus would be awakened early. So, yeah, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Please leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Catch you later.